Welcome to the final video of Chapter 2 of our Unity project where we're going to make an FPS. In this video, we're going to finish our ammo settings so that we can have an ammo bar, or well, an ammo count appear for our other weapons. So let's get to work on that. One of the things that I want to fix real fast before getting into the ammo is I want to fix the field of view settings, because if you notice, there is actually a bug. So if you aim down sights on one weapon, and then while you're still aiming down sights, if you switch to another weapon, even without aiming down sights, you still are stuck in that zoomed state. So let's actually make the field of vision a built-in setting. So that's going to take us to Game Manager. And underneath required prefabs, I feel like we need another field here called settings. And the setting that I'm going to add is public int FOV. And actually the default is 60. Many FPSs will do 80 to 90. But for some reason, Unity defaults the FOV to 60. So you could try to go to like 70 or 80. It will change the perspective that you see your weapon as. So if I were to give this a range, I would say no less than 60 to 90. Maybe you can allow up to 100 if you really wanted to. Now that we have this as a setting, we could actually go and implement this value instead of using this kind of initial FOV thing that we were doing. So I would go to the blaster and take out this initial FOV line, which means we're going to see two errors appear, which is fine. Let's just delete this code inside of awake. And we're going to go down here when we're actually doing my aim down sights. Instead of initial FOV, I'm just going to use game manager dot instance dot FOV as the source, as the original, and then zoomed FOV is whatever we set it to. And so we'll do this. So we're going to hit save, and we're going to do the same for the shotgun. We're going to take out initial FOV here, which is going to cause two errors. We're going to take it out of awake. And then here, we're going to go back and use game manager dot instance dot FOV. And what that's going to let us do is that's going to give us more control of the FOV. Not only can we set it, but now we can't accidentally switch weapons and get our FOV messed up. So you can see the weapons look different because I'm looking at them from a wider angle, but this is still the same. And if I switch weapons, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it snaps back instantly, but you know, it's possible maybe we shouldn't allow the player to switch weapons if you're aiming down sights or something. Okay, so that's good. Let's move on to implementing ammo for the shotgun. So this is going to require us to begin to set up kind of a ammo magazine setting. So let's go to our shotgun script and jump up to the instance variables. And some settings that we're going to want to do, so underneath weapon stats, and perhaps, we could create a new header for ammo settings. And we're going to have an ammo type. So public game manager dot ammo type, conveniently called ammo type. Public int, and actually we could probably set this directly. So like you could see that we could set that to have that initial value so that if we did reset the script, it will go back to being a shotgun type. So you could go make that change to the blaster too if you would like. Then we need to set up how many shells or how many shots can this thing hold at once. So that's going to be this variable ammo mag size, which will be 2. And then we'll also have an ammo magazine, and that'll be set to 2 as well. So when this weapon starts, you have 2 shots before you have to reload. And since we're going to have to reload, we're going to need a variable here called public floats reload time. How long it will take to reload this weapon. We'll need another just local kind of private variable here. And I guess we could just slap it right under it. Private floats reload ticker. This is the variable that's going to track how much time has elapsed on my reload. So that's all we need for that part. So let's go and start setting up. We'll deal with reloading in a second. We want to actually consume ammo when we attack. So that's going to be an issue with Fire 1. So not only do we want our weapon to be ready, but we also want there to be ammunition in the magazine. And so ammo mag greater than 0. And then we want to consume 1 ammo. So ammo mag -1. And so that will take away one of our ammo. So after we shoot a couple times, we're going to run out of ammo. But let's get some of the UI reporting set up so that we can see how much ammo we have and actually get some information about this. So if we scroll down to these things that we never really set up, let's work on get ammo message. So we want to return, similar to what we did in the blaster. And to make life easier, I'm really just going to copy this and then tweak it. So I want to use my ammo type, so it's going to say like shells. But instead of rounding, I'm just going to cast to an int. That way, it doesn't round. It does the flooring behavior that I talked about, that if you have 3.9 shotgun shells, you only have 3. If we have some kind of weird fractional regeneration. And if we wanted to put the max ammo, we could. So we could put like a slash here, and then also put our max. This is one incredibly long line of code. All right, so now we'll actually see our ammo when we have this weapon out. So if we go back to Unity, make sure everything got saved, we should see that message. We might not because of the energy bar. Yeah, we need to tell it to draw this. So we're going to go back to here, go over to weapon controller, and that's going to be in late update. So essentially we need an else case here. So this is saying that if the energy is greater than 1, display the energy bar. So the else case would be is if UI energy was -1, so just use text. And we'll want to copy all of this, paste that, we won't use fill amount for the front bar. And we just invert all of these things. So the ammo bar will be set to false, so we don't see it. And then the ammo text will be set to true, so we do see it. And the text will be set to whatever ammo message is returning. So let's save that. Hit play. And now you can see that we do have some shells here. However, it's not displaying my current magazine, which is something that I wanted it to do. Yeah, so I want it to say, man, this line's gonna get even worse. Plus ammo mag plus a vertical bar. All right, so we'll do that. Hit save, go back to Unity, and let's see what this looks like. And this is probably going to be closer to what I want. And so you can see down there it says 1, and then in 6/24 indicates how many shells I have close to my max. And then once I shoot my last one, I can no longer attack. So that's going to lead us to the need of implementing a reload system. Now, if we switch off the weapon, it will restock back to its original ammo. We're going to address that in a little bit too. But let's set up reloading. So when we run out of ammo, we're going to need to reload the weapon. So while we're here, we can update get UI reload. So instead of -1, if my ammo mag is set to 0, basically I'm out of ammunition. We actually want to return the ratio of the reload ticker divided by reload time, else return -1. So if I have ammo, just return -1. And that's kind of my universal signal for don't display this UI thing. So that's what's going on with this. If we want to implement that now before we forget, that might not be a bad idea. It's actually a pretty easy thing to enable. So over in Weapon Controller, right after we've dealt with all this ammo text, we'll want to do something very similar for reloading. So this is end ammo text not null. So we're going to do kind of the same thing for the reload bar. So UI underscore reload back is not equal to null, and UI reload front is not equal to null. Then let's get how much reload we have. So float reload ratio is going to be weapon.get UI reload. And this is going to return -1 if no reload is needed. And if it's -1, we don't want to display our thing. Otherwise, it's going to return a value from 0 to 1. So if this is -1, if reload ratio is equal to -1, don't display anything. We want to hide the reload bar. So that's UI underscore reload front enabled is false, and UI back enabled is false. Else show the reload bar and its progress. So we want to just set enabled to true here. So it is going to pop that bar up now. and we will set the fill amounts, so reload front dot fill amounts, to the reload ratio. Good news is that actually does wrap up all of the things that we need to do inside of weapon controller. So we can hit save all, venture back to Unity, and what we should see is the reload thing will pop up when we run out of ammo, but it doesn't start to fill yet, so we aren't reloading yet. But it's acknowledging the need for the reload needing to happen. All right, so now we have to figure out how we want to handle reloading. And I think the easiest thing to do is just kind of create a method about reloading, and just check it during update. So I'm going to create a method. Pick a spot to put it. This will be called private void ammo reload. All right, so if the cooldown is 0, so the weapon is done cooling down, and the ammo mag is empty, and we have ammo for it. Game manager, instance, ammo for my current type is greater than 0. So the three conditions, weapon is cooled down, we have no rounds in the mag, and we have ammo in inventory. If so, increment the timer. So we would say reload ticker plus equals time.delta time. Then whenever that's finished, then we want to reload. If reload ticker is greater than or equal to reload time, meaning we've completed the reload, restore the, well, let's say take ammo from inventory and put it in mag up to max mag. So ammo mag will equal, and this is where the little bit mathy here. We're going to cast to an int, math.f, the minimum of either the ammo mag size or how much ammo we have, whichever one is actually smaller. Because we might have 100 shells, but if the magazine only holds 2, we want to pick 2. Then take that value, and actually we could split this up. So we could call this ammo reload amount and actually just do that there. And then however much we reloaded for, we're going to subtract that amount from our total. So game manager, ammo, will minus equals, ammo reload amount. So the amount of ammo that we chose to choose for the reload. And then we will clear the reload timer. So that it doesn't infinitely trigger a reload. So then this method is currently not being checked. So all we need to do is make this method get triggered inside of update. So I'm going to take this method ammo reload, and I'm going to go over to update, and I can call it right after I do cooldown. Check the reload status. And that self-contained method will happen. Ammo reload will do its thing. So this should work. We should consume ammo from my total to reload my weapon. So let's test that to make sure that this is the case. So we've got 2 shots. Now I have 1 shot. I have 0 shots, and then it reloads, taking it out of my total. And then now this is my last shot. We're never going to reload again because we're out of ammo for this weapon. Now, we are now faced with kind of the most complex challenge. Remembering how much ammo was in my weapon when I switch off of it. Because remember, when we switch off of our weapon, it's getting deleted. I know that's probably slightly lazy, but we're deleting this prefab and then reinstantiating a new prefab in its place. So we need to kind of remind that weapon how much ammo it had. So we're going to need to kind of do some fancy remembering. And the one thing that remembers stuff is Game Manager's data dictionary. We're going to use that data dictionary to remember things. So I'm going to put in there some silly terminology. So we'll start with uninitialize, because we care about remembering how much ammo we had when we switch weapons. So we'll say game manager.instance.put data. Now, to be fair, you could just say data with a bracket using whatever thing we want. So we don't have to use that method we created. So what this is going to create, and we'll set that equal to ammo mag. So what this is basically doing is we're creating a variable named shotgun mag ammo that might be 0, 1, or 2. So there's going to be a variable shotgun mag ammo that's being stored in this dictionary, and then we're going to recall that during initialize. So let's get that value. Now remember, it's possible that this could be the first time this weapon's been instantiated. And if this is the first time this weapon's been instantiated, we wouldn't have put anything into the data dictionary. So we have to be ready for that eventuality. So we're going to say float ammo still in mag equals game manager.instance. And I don't have to use the get data. I could just directly reference data with my name that I want to use. And that will then reference the dictionary with this thing. Although I probably should use get data. So instead of this, I do want to use get data. And if you remember why, you will be king of the internet for a fraction of a second. And that's because I had set up something in here that tells me if the key wasn't found. And it would return not a number. So we could use this to recognize when the key wasn't in there. So if float dot is not a number, then we could set this to the initial amount. Otherwise, we would set the ammo mag equal to, and just cast it, ammo still in mag. So we'd set it to whatever we got from the dictionary. And so this concept is a very powerful concept of remembering the state of this weapon. Now, all we have to do is remember to call these. And actually, when I said we were done with weapon controller, I guess I lied. When we equip our weapon, before we destroy it, we want to uninitialize it. And this is why we put this inside of my interface. So this will then store any information needed before deleting weapon, such as how much ammo is still in the magazine. Then when we spawn the new weapon, right after we set the position, restore any information or initialization needed. So we would call current weapon get components iWeapon initialize, and then that will run that method that we just created. So now we can save this and test it, and we can verify that we're remembering the state of our ammo in between weapon switches. Alright, so I have one ammo in the magazine right now. If I switch over to my blaster, shoot a few times, and I switch back over, now I have one shotgun shell still. And so if I switch off while I'm reloading, it actually resets the reloading progress. So you actually have to kind of sit there until it reloads, and then it will remember that you had 2 shells in there. And I think that's just kind of a neat way to handle this. You could probably argue that maybe we should have kept the information about the magazine in the game manager, but the magazine was kind of unique to the weapon. Game manager actually doesn't know what weapons you have, and it doesn't know any special properties of those weapons. All game manager knows is what types of ammo you have on you. It doesn't know what weapons, it doesn't know that weapon 2 is a shotgun. And that's why I set it up this way, so that everything is kind of compartmentalized, which would make kind of a modular weapon system. Adding new weapons, not doing some weapons, it would make switching this stuff around as easy as just changing the prefabs. Because like I said, Unity doesn't care. Unity doesn't know that weapon 2 is the shotgun. So if I really wanted to kind of belabor the point, I could switch where all these prefabs were set. I could make shotgun weapon 1, the launcher weapon 2, blaster weapon 3, and it doesn't care. All it's tracking is the ammo type that you have. Everything about that weapon is self-contained onto the weapon. So the shotgun, for instance, now switches, the blaster's now on 3, shotgun's on 1, and all of that works pretty well. So there's no mandatory positioning for these weapons. They're all self-contained. And I think that that's a good lesson for programming. Okay, so let's finish up the launcher and then be done with this. Now, I will point out that, yes, I realize the launcher probably shouldn't have that little disc in there. This thing, like when it's out of ammo, like technically that probably shouldn't be there, but or like when we're reloading, you could probably make it hide that when it's reloading to indicate that it's not loaded. I'm just pointing that out, that yes, I see that. I'm not an artist though, I'm a programmer. So let's go into our code and finish this up. So this is going to deal with the launcher. Now, we're going to do some of the similar stuff that we did for the shotgun for the launcher. So I'm going to jump over to shotgun real quick, and I'm going to actually grab this header for ammo settings, because I'm really going to use kind of the same stuff. So I'm just going to grab this and then take it over to launcher and paste it. Now that I've pasted it, well, actually it doesn't enact until I hit save, so I have time to change this. So we want to switch the ammo type to rocket. The mag size is 2, one ammo in the mag, and the reload time, maybe we can make it kind of quick. Maybe it can be 0.5. Because it only gets to shoot once, because we have the cooldown on top of this. It has to cool down before you can reload it. And, you know, we want to take as many pieces as we can from how the shotgun worked. So we're going to scroll down. I'm going to steal the entirety of this ammo reload method, because nothing about this is unique to the shotgun. That said, like, it would have been nice if this was an abstract class, but I don't think I can do multiple inheritance that way. Maybe I can, I don't really know. So there's ammo reload. I'm going to take the calling of ammo reload from update. I'll take this one line here. Oop, no, I want the one from fire. I'll take this. And actually, technically, this is a shotgun, so it shouldn't say charge the weapon. So on fire, instead of just purely being ready, we will do that. And then we need to do the same thing for fire too. So I'm going to take this same stuff, make sure that I do that for fire 2 as well, because the grenade should still consume a rocket. And then the last few things is to kind of steal these UI messages. So we're going to go back to shotgun, and once I get to UI reload, I'm really just going to take all of this, because all of this can be recycled. So from UI reload all the way to uninitialize. And paste that in. And the way that we wrote this, none of this is hard-coded to the shotgun. This is all kind of dynamic. So this, we don't have to change a thing, because it's even pulling the name from the weapon, and the name will be rocket launcher, I hope. Assuming we set a name. Interesting. Well, fingers crossed there's a name. Where is that name getting read from is what I truly want to know. Huh. So it must be pulling it from the prefab name. That's kind of playing with fire. I thought I had a variable for name, but I guess I didn't. Oh well. It works. Not going to question it. So if the prefab name ever gets changed, it will break everything. Okay, we can hit save on that. And the other thing that I wanted to do that was driving me slightly nuts is current weapon should start at 0. because that's actually the weapon in position 1. I forgot about that. But that's not going to fix it because it's a public variable, so I have to go change that. And what I mean by have to go change that is I actually have to go into here and change current weapon to 0. And then we can hit play. And now it says rockets down there. I have 1 currently loaded, and I have 2 in reserve. So I can fire 1. It reloads, fire, reloads, and now I'm out. So we'll explore having ammo pickups in the enemies section when we get to like enemy drops. We'll have them drop ammo for us. So we've got a variety of weapons. We've got a weapon that recharges, and so this is kind of self-sufficient as a backup weapon. But if you don't manage your energy, you'll be left defenseless. We've got a shotgun, which shoots reasonably fast and is good for close range encounters. And then we have a rocket that probably would be good for long range and mid range encounters. That is a good area of effect weapon. So we have a pretty diverse set of FPS weapons that we created in this project so far. And actually, there's nothing left for us to have to do here. Our weapons have ammo, and they are working successfully. So I'm actually really happy with this. The only thing that we've got left to do that pertains to the weapons is once we have enemies, we need to start dealing damage. But that's going to be a problem when we actually do get around to putting enemies into this project. So I would say enjoy your weapons, play around with them a little bit, make sure that they work the way you want, maybe tweak them, change your FOV, but we're finished with chapter 2 here. So the next chapter, we're going to explore adding enemies, animating those enemies, giving them some very basic AI so that they'll track the player, hunt the player, and either do a melee attack or a ranged attack on the player, and then we'll be able to attack them. And then we will wrap up our project at that point. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in chapter 3.